what that says is, let's look at all the evidence on a particular topic. So we might, take what I did in my PhD. I want to look at all the interventions that tried to adjust dietary fat and then saw what happens. That's all the randomized trials in that field. Or I want to look at all the population studies that were trying to look at associations between dietary fat and heart disease mortality and all-cause mortality. And then you can pool all of those together in something called a meta-analysis, which is just a statistical technique that will then put all of the evidence together and say, right, when you look at all the trials in that particular area and you put them all together, the conclusion that they come to is this. So my starting point is always, what am I looking at? And as I say, in nutrition, most of the time I'm looking at a population study. So before I've even read the abstract, I'm thinking, it's a population study. It's a pretty moderate to poor form of evidence. It can only give me association. It can't give me causation. The numbers in the paper are going to be relative risk, not absolute risk. So they're going to say, if you eat red meat, you've got a 20% greater risk of developing cancer, which will be nonsense. And I'll know it's nonsense, and I'll be able to show why it's nonsense very, very quickly. But this is all that I'm thinking before I even start looking at the paper. Because the way the relative risk works is you might have a 1 in 1,000 instance of developing cancer. So a 20% increase on that would be a 1.2 in 1,000 chance of developing cancer. Well, seriously, who cares? If I enjoyed smoking and somebody said, you've got a 1 in 1,000 or a 1.2 in 1,000 chance of developing lung cancer, I say, well, sod it, I enjoy smoking. I'm going to carry on smoking. Now, actually, the risk in smoking is very much different to that. But that's the kind of territory that you're getting into with most population studies. And then before I even look at the paper, I know that there's going to be what we call a healthy person confounder, which is that the person who eats red meat, most of these tend to be American population studies. The person who eats red meat in America is eating burgers. They're going to McDonald's or Wendy's or Burger King, and they're also eating fries and a white bun and ketchup and mustard and a milkshake or a fizzy drink or an ice cream sundae or whatever. So we're going to blame the burger for what all the carbohydrates did. So before I even look at the paper, all of that has gone in my head before I actually then go and read the abstract.